The man lay flat on the ground for 48 hours, but he did not dare to move even a little. Behind him was a cliff over 100 meters high. If he slipped, he would fall to his death. He dug his fingers hard into the ground, but the sand was too soft. He could not hold on, and he started sliding toward the edge. His hands were no longer helpful, so he used his face as a brake. That barely stopped him. Just then, his phone rang from inside his backpack. He hesitated. If he answered, he might fall. If he didn't, he might die waiting. Even raising one hand could cause him to slide. So he adjusted his body, pressed his face to the ground, and reached out with the other hand. He finally grabbed the phone, but the next second, he began sliding again. Luckily, he got stuck at the edge. Below the cliff were sharp, dark rocks. 2 more hours passed. His body and mind were near collapse. Then, he started counting the timing of waves crashing into the rocks. If he could use the waves to break his fall, he might survive. When the time was right, he let go and jumped. He fell into the sea, but the water was too shallow. His hips hit the rocks hard. The pain knocked him out. Fortunately, he woke up in time. Using all his strength, he floated up to the surface. But the real test had only just begun. After making it to shore, he checked his body. Other than a cut on his hand, nothing seemed broken. But as soon as he stood up, he collapsed. When he came to, his head had a fresh wound. That was not the worst part. The impact had hurt his lower back. Now, both of his legs were numb. He remembered the phone. He quickly searched his backpack, but the phone was soaked. No matter how many times he pressed it, it did not work. Now he was really in trouble. He shouted for help, but no one would ever come to such a place. In front of him was a steep cliff. Behind him was an endless ocean. He had no choice. He took off his shirt and used it to treat the wound. To save energy, he lay down on the rocks and slowly fell asleep. When he opened his eyes again, he forced himself to stay calm. The pain in his back reminded him to act fast. He looked around. Climbing the cliff was impossible. But in the distance, he saw a small island. It was his only hope. He used every bit of strength he had, and rolled himself into the sea. But things were not so simple. His legs could not move, and one hand was badly injured. He could only push forward with the other hand. Soon, he ran out of energy and had to rest on the surface. Then, sharp pain hit his stomach. He choked and swallowed a lot of water. Slowly, he sank below the surface. In that moment before death, he thought of his wife. He could not accept dying like this. The will to live gave him sudden strength. He swung his one good hand upward, and made it back to the surface. But swimming to the island was now impossible. He had no choice but to return to where he started.